All right, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very big welcome to week 5 of Systems Development, Lifecycle and Project Management. Today, I'm going to be talking about the chapter about project cost management. We're going to start by talking about an introduction of the various topics we are going to be covering, as well as we are going to be reaching a stage where at the end, I'm going to give you an example of how do you actually go and really create a budget, which is really something you need to go and actually do as part of your assignment. So it's very, very important you stay with me all the way through, pay your attention so that we're going to be able to go and ensure we're giving you all the right information. Reminder, there's 2 people involved in this subject. There's myself and there's Dr. Atif Ali. Our consultation time is different. So if you are in my class, your consultation is after your 11:30 class, and if obviously your class is after between I think 1 and 3, then your consultation is going to be between 3 and 3:30. So it's something to go and bear in mind in terms of when you can get consultation and who is available to go and provide that consultation for you. If at any point of time you need anything from me personally as a coordinator, and you can't discuss with Dr. Ali, you can obviously discuss with me. I'll be always very, very happy to help. Very quick reminder I give you every week about the copyright. It's very serious. Any copyright won't be tolerated. Any copyright will be identified as an issue and would result into very severe penalties. So please make sure any information you use is acknowledged. Please make sure there's no direct copying and pasting from any resource that is available on the internet. It's very important that you basically share with us your own information, your own text, your own way of writing in anything you go and do. So what are the webinar's learning objectives? Well, there are a number of learning objectives in the webinar. In the webinar, we're going to develop a justification for project cost management and why it's important in achieving project success. We're going to explain the basic project management principles, concepts, and terms. We're going to describe the process of planning cost management. We're going to discuss the different types of cost estimates and methods for preparing them. We're going to use an example of an information technology project, list and describe the processes of determining a budget and preparing a cost estimate. We're going to justify the use of earned value management and project portfolio management to assist in cost control. We're going to describe how project management software can assist in project cost management, and we're going to discuss considerations for agile adaptive environments. So all of these are very, very important things we're going to be talking about in the webinar. Here in Lectorial, we're going to go and introduce some of these topics, and then we'll be able to discuss further things in the webinar on Thursday. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to start by asking you questions. How can cost management contribute to delivering a successful project or successful projects? And from where will you source the required information to create a quality cost control? So 2 questions, and I would like you to go and please join in that discussion with me to tell me what you think. So I have none of you here now. So could you please help me to answer all of these questions? So how do you think cost management contribute to delivering successful projects? What do you think? How can cost management contribute to delivering successful projects? Come on, guys, don't be scared. My question, guys, is how can cost management contribute to delivering successful projects? What do you think?
Well, hi, sir.
Hello, Rakshia. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm very good. Very happy to have you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for having us. Well, as the answer for your question goes, as the project cost management sets the baseline for project costs, effective cost management ensures that the project budget is on track and will will be completed according to its planned scope. So if we have a good cost management, it, it directly contributes to deliver a successful project.
Thank you very much. It's actually a great answer. So you're basically saying if we are basically having a good cost management, we can ensure that things are being delivered within the budget that is basically assigned for the project. We can deliver things and ensuring we deliver the scope within the actual budget, and that basically contributes to us delivering successful projects. Very well done. Thank you very much. Anybody else want to add another point of view?
It avoids risks.
What's up, my friend?
It avoids risks for
It helps you. It helps you avoid risk for the future. So what you're saying? Okay, so any risk of cost overruns that ensure we're not going to go and deliver things successfully, it's going to go and affect that. That's correct. Anyone else, guys? How do we understand and how do we deliver the understanding that a project is successful? How is the project decided to be successful?
It also helps in future planning.
Correct, but let me ask you. I'm asking a very basic question. What is the definition of a project is successful?
Well, if it's delivered on time and under budget.
And?
Under budget.
Yeah, within time, within budget. There's one more thing, very important thing. Actually, two more things. Within time, within budget.
And what able to fulfill the scope?
The scope, and what else? One more thing, think about it. So within time, within budget, deliver the scope, and what else? One that people don't often talk about. Delivering things within a certain quality. You might deliver the scope, but not of a good quality. So it's also ensuring you are delivering things within an appropriate quality that people are going to go and be happy with. So that's something to go and really bear in mind. I need you to go and bear in mind, how can cost management contribute to delivering successful projects? Well, if my project is basically being measured on whether it has been delivered within time, within cost, and within specification, then an obvious thing for us to go and bear in mind, if the project is delivered within budget, then equally, that basically going to mean we are delivering the project successfully. That's really what we need to know. That's really what we're trying to go and deliver in terms of the cost. Now, you want to go and try to get information, okay, from where will you source the required information to create a quality cost estimate? So if we want to go and estimate our costing, where would I get the information so that my estimate is going to be of a good quality? What do you think?
From the client.
From the client. If you are delivering the job for the client, how does the client help you to get a good quality cost estimate? What do you think? From where will you source the required information to create a quality cost estimate? From the client is correct, okay? How do we do it? What does the client tell me that helped me to get a good quality cost estimate? What would the client tell me, guys? Anyone? The client tells you what needs to go and be done. The client gives you the requirement. The client indicates for you the scope. And once you have the scope, you'll be able to know what sort of estimation you would like to go and create, which help you to create a quality cost estimate. Because you need to estimate according to what you're trying to go and deliver. If you don't know what you're trying to go and deliver, you can't get a quality estimate. So that's one thing to go and bear in mind. What else will help me to go and get a quality cost estimate? Sorry, what was that?
Prevent the losses from the project.
Yeah, that's for the first question, but I'm talking about the second question. From where will you source the required information to create a quality cost estimate? So if I go and tell any of you, I want you to go and estimate for me how much building a house is going to cost me. How are you going to get me the answer to get me a quality cost estimate?
Are we going to look at the sort of the same field things? You know what I mean? Like, say, if it's about the project, then perhaps looking at the market, like market research. So if we need to outsource anything,
Yep.
like
You
how
might
much probably
go
it has
on.
cost.
Yeah, okay. So you want to go and actually do your market research, and from your market research, try to find information about how much it's going to cost. Okay, what else? Is there any other way for us to be able to find a good quality cost estimate?
By making the plan how to like spend budget.
Yeah, by making very good plan, trying to look at the plan, and based on that plan, you try to go and create a budget for that plan by speaking to people who are actually expert in that area, that have done similar jobs in the past, and saying, guys, could you please tell me what you think we need to go and do? By getting team members to be involved, by getting senior management to be involved. So there's so many ways we can go and actually try to create a quality cost estimate. There's obviously, we need to know exactly what needs to be done. So that's an internal, external stakeholder. The client needs to tell me what they want. I need to go and get the project team to go and estimate. I need to go and ask external people to estimate. All of these together will help me to go and get a proper quality estimation. Now, I cannot underemphasize the importance of managing your costing. Okay, a 2011 survey from a Harvard Business Review, it basically showed an average cost overrun of 27%. That's 27% of the money you spend on your project is money that is poorly wasted, money that is actually gone. Most important finding, that the discovery of a large number of gigantic overages or black swan. That's a very, very high overruns in terms of the actual budget. A high impact event, rare, unpredictable, but not improbable. It occurs a lot. It just basically results into big, big financial losses in the environments and in the projects we are working. The black swan has a never cost overrun by up to 200%. And the schedule overrun by up to 70%. Wow, that's a very, very late delivered project, and that's a very, very costly project. Now, usually in IT, we say, oh, no problem, a schedule overrun, it's not an issue. But once you're talking about 70% cost overrun, imagine your project is basically a project that was supposed to be delivered within 1 year time, and that project is now taking almost 2 years' time. What is that going to go and mean? What it is going to actually mean? It is going to mean we are going to be potentially delivering something that is no longer adding value to the market, because the market in information technology changes so quickly that we won't be able to go and really get a project that is going to be adding value for our business. So that's a very, very big problem to go and bear in mind. There are so many various costing to think about in the actual information technology field, in project management in general. But tangible costing or benefits are those costs or benefits that an organization can easily measure in dollar. How do we do it? Well, if I say I want to employ a project manager for 10 days, and if I know I'm paying a project manager $1,000 every day, because the project is for 10 days, I know that my tangible cost that I can measure is $1,000 per day times 10 days equal $10,000 in terms of my cost to go and deliver that project. Intangible costs or benefits are benefits that are difficult to measure in monetary terms. For example, my costs could be the cost of dissatisfied customers. All right, how do you measure dissatisfaction? It's very hard to go and measure customer dissatisfaction. You need to probably measure it in more tangible terms, such as in terms of how much money have you lost within the organization because the customer is unhappy. But intangible, are basically harder, more difficult to measure in monetary terms for us to be able to know what is it basically actually costing us. Direct costs are costs that are directly related to producing the products and services of the project. For example, I might be employing one person to write the code for my software. That is a direct cost associated with someone actually writing and working on a task to be able to go and deliver the product or the service. Indirect costs are the costs that are not directly related to the products or services of the project, but are indirectly related to performing the project. Okay, so indirect costs, they're not directly related. So if I was to go and tell you, for example, I am paying for a project manager to go and supervise my project, but that project manager is not actually working on doing the task himself or herself, that is what I call an indirect cost. Costs that not directly related to product and services, but are indirectly related to performing the project. You need the project manager to direct people on doing the job to help ensure the job gets done when it needs to go and be done. Now, whenever you try to choose to go and select a project to go and work on, what you do, you have what is called as a sunken cost, okay? The money that is spent in the past when deciding what projects to invest in or to continue, okay? We don't include that costing as part of the project, but it is a cost that basically organizations goes and actually incur at any point of time that we need to go and be wary of to be able to go and ensure the projects are selected appropriately and are going to go and deliver the value that we would like it to go and really deliver. Now, when I talk about project cost management, there's a number of steps I need to go and talk about, you know, resource planning, cost estimation, cost budgeting, and cost control. Resource planning is I need to know what resources I need to be able to go and get the project done. What people I need, what equipment I need, what machines I need, what space I need. All of these are about understanding the resources I'm going to need to be able to go and really go and complete my project. Cost estimating. Develop an approximation of the overall cost of resources needed to complete the project. How many I go and need. So develop an approximation of my costing, estimate how much is it really going to cost me to be able to go and really go and complete my project. Cost budgeting, allocation of the overall cost estimate to the project. So let me go and actually budget. Let me go and estimate in the first week, in the second week, in the third week, in the first month, in the second month. Let me go and actually create a budget, estimate how much things are going to go and cost me at any point of time. And finally, let me go and actually create a cost control. How do I go and control my costing that I need at any point of time? So cost control is about controlling the changes to the project budget. We will be working, we will be trying to go and deliver the project on time. We will be trying to go and work to deliver things within budget. Things might not be going and working according to plan or the budget. So what will happen there is we're going to have to go and create the way we're going to be able to go and control that costing at any particular point of time to be able to reduce any sort of cost overruns. Because if the cost is going to go and be very, very big cost overruns, what is that going to mean for me? It's going to mean it's going to go and cost me you know, much more money to go and deliver the project. And also because the project is being assessed whether it's successful by how late that project is, we basically go and try to, we know that if it is going to be delivered over budget, it is going not to be a successful project. So ladies and gentlemen, the planning of cost management, the first step in project cost management is we need to plan. How are the costs going to be managed throughout the project? You know, we can use people's judgment. We can basically analyze the data. We can do meetings. We can create a cost management plan. There's a lot of things we need to go and bear in mind. If I talk about the cost management plan, how accurate does my costing need to be? How am I going to go and measure it? What is my procedure that I'm going to go and follow to manage costs? How much control I'm going to exercise over costing? What is the rule of performance measurement? You know, what is really considered bad and what is considered not an issue at all? How are we going to go and report all of these cost management issues? How are we going to go and create a description of the cost management processes that people are going to be using to be able to ensure that the projects are actually being done appropriately within the particular timelines? We need to estimate the cost. Okay, project managers must take cost estimates seriously. Don't just try to create any estimate that you haven't really thought about in details. No, you need to go and think in details. What is the actual cost estimate that I need to go and really bear in mind? That's something really, really important for us to be able to go and really do. What are the type of costings we need to go and think about? How many costs? What are the costs? The tools and techniques we need to go and think about when it comes to product estimation. We need to create proper tools, proper techniques to go and bear in mind at a particular point of time. We need to think about the problem associated with IT cost estimates. What sort of issues could happen with, with estimation? Could people, for example, be padding their estimates? Could basically people not have the expertise that is needed to be able to go and get the estimation to be a proper estimation for us to go and bear in mind? A lot of time when you're trying to estimate, you estimate how many resources you need per department per year. If you look here, year 1, we need 41 people, year 2, 66, year 3, 72, year 4, 25, year 5, 23. You're not going to be employing the same level of people in year 4 and year 5 as you would be employing people in year 3. If you have that much work for you to go and do in year 3, the only logical things for us to go and do is to ensure we are going to be having a detailed increase. Because we have an understanding of what we need, we basically have to go and increase that amount of people we have within the organization, because if we don't employ enough people, we won't be able to go and finalize and deliver the outcomes that we are required to go and deliver at a particular point of time. There are many, many problems to go and bear in mind when it comes to IT cost estimates. Someone who's going very, very quickly to go and present for me an estimate. Well, if you spend a very quick time trying to get me an estimate, the question is, are you spending enough time to be able to really go and get that estimate? Because if you're not spending that time, how do we know that that's an appropriate estimate in the first instance? I go and put people, they have no knowledge, they have no skills, and they're basically going and saying, well, that is the estimation we're going to go and have, but people don't have the expertise. So how do you go and create that estimation if you don't have the right expertise to be able to go and get that estimation that is actually correct? We often are people who are biased to underestimation. I go and look at a task. It looks to me like if you go and say, oh, go and paint the house, you're going to say, oh, you're painting the house? How hard is painting the house going to be? It's very easy to go and paint the house. And I'm going to say, yeah, you're right. It's very easy. Like, what else? Well, what do you want to do? Like, seriously, it's only painting a house. But once you go and start thinking in details about the work that needs to be done, and once the work starts and you start making that assessment, this is basically where you start talking about the estimation that we need to go and bear in mind. So human beings are biased towards underestimation at any point of time. Management deserves accuracy. Management wants things to go and be done correctly, on time. Okay? We basically have that problem with, because they would like to have an accurate estimation, because they don't want the estimate to be incorrect, what will happen is people will start trying to go and overestimate how much a task is going to go and be taking. And if then basically go and the project goes and gets completed within the budget, say, what's the problem? We got you the project. We delivered within the timelines as you required. It was delivered within the budget, so there's no problem. But people would have done that by over estimating the costing. Why? Because the management want to go and have accuracy. So what do? We want to make sure we're not going to tell them a cost that is going to be under the usual costing. So we go, and a lot of time we might go and increase our costing to be able to ensure that the budget that has been allocated to that project is actually enough for that particular task. Now, best practice. Alvin Alexander wrote a book called Cost Estimating in an Agile Development Environment. What he said, we can go and try to use what is known as function points. And these function points is really a way for me to go and measure how big a software size really in terms of the work. So you might go and have 10 features you want to deliver, and you will go and tell people, okay, estimate for me how much each feature is going to go and cost me. So one would say, for example, this task is 2 function points. This other task or this feature is double the work required for the first feature. So it is going to be 4 function points. This is double the 4 function points. It's going to be 8 function points. So you basically look at estimating the size of each of these features, and you try to basically measure them in terms of function points. User stories are a common way to describe the requirement. So we describe it, and then we can estimate how long it's going to take in terms of function point, or how complex it is in terms of the function points. Developers can analyze user stories to estimate the number of internal logical files, a group of logically related data that resides entirely within the application boundary. And from that estimation, you'll be able to understand how complex a particular task is going to be. And based on that complexity, you'll be able to go and estimate how long that task is going to go and take for you to be able to go and really complete it. One thing about determining the budget, when I say about determining the budget, we try to go and determine a budget that is over a certain period. So period 1, period 2, period 3, that could be 1 week, 1 month, or whatever it is. What you go and see, here, I need $20,000 for period 1. I need 86. And all of these costing will basically start accumulating towards the end of the project. So when you add all of these extra costing, that give you the cost for the overall project. But that costing is also taking into perspective any reserves. You would usually add reserves on the side. The reason why you would add those reserves is to be able to go and ensure, to be able to go and ensure we are going to go and, have enough money in case things don't go according to plan at any particular point of time. One of the very, very important things is we need to go and control the costing. I might plan that building the house is going to cost me $10,000. But what I need to do, I need to go and actually control my costing. How do I go and control my costing? I need to monitor my cost performance. I need to ensure that only appropriate project changes are included in my revised cost baseline. If someone comes and tells me I want to have a change, I have to go and ask myself this question. Is that change going to add value? Is that change really required? Is that change really recommended? Is that change going to cause any risk on my project? I have to go and create that assessment to be able to go and decide what really needs to go and be done at a particular point of time. So ensuring that only appropriate project changes are included in a revised cost baseline is one that is really important to go and bear in mind. Informing project stakeholders of authorized changes to the project that will affect the cost. You don't want the stakeholder not to understand. You don't want the project team not to know that they now need to go and deliver extra changes. You need to make sure it's very clear for them. They know that something else needs to go and be done. You want to make sure that, that the CEO knows that the project is going to go and cost more now because we have incorporated one extra change that hasn't been initially incorporated in the plan that we had initially to go and deliver for the project. Many tools help us to go and control the costing. Judgment. The project manager needs to exercise a judgment. stakeholder or sponsor of the project need to go and say, well, do we need to go and do this specific change? Is that going to go and add value for us? Analyzing the data will help us to go and control the costing. Because when I analyze the data and I identify that things are not working according to plan, when I see that things are costing more money than I expect it's going to go and cost me, that basically something that tells me I need to go and take the correct action to go and get the job done. If I go and talk about, project management information system, a system could be automatically tracking how things are working. It could be tracking how much the planned budget versus how much is the actual budget throughout the project, not only for one particular point of time, not only for one particular task. It looks at throughout the project, how are we actually go and progressing, and try to bear that accordingly. To complete performance index, that's a measurement of how much more money we need to go and spend to be able to go and ensure we're going to go and complete the project. So how much more money is really needed to get the job done for our project at that particular point of time. So all of these things are things we need to go and bear in mind in terms of controlling the costing. This is one method we need to go and bear in mind, which talks specifically about how do we control the costing. It looks at, earned value. What earned value means, how much work have we actually completed in dollar terms? We completed $5,000 worth of work. That's how much work I've actually earned. And what you do, you compare how much work you've earned comparing to how much were you planning to earn. I planned to earn $10,000, but I only earned $5,000. So when you compare my earned value minus planned value, which is this formula here, I can know whether I am ahead of schedule or I am behind schedule. Anytime I compare earned value to planned value, it basically gives me an estimation of how I'm going from a schedule perspective. Earned value minus costing, which is this formula here. Tell me, how am I progressing from a budget perspective? Am I ahead of budget or am I behind budget? Earned value, I earned $5,000 worth of work, but it cost me $15,000 worth of work. So 5,000 minus 15, that's minus $10,000. If you go and use this index, CPI and SPI, which is earned value divided by actual cost or earned value divided by planned value, it tells you how much behind the budget or how much behind the schedule you are. We have only completed 33% of the required work for the money we've spent. We've only completed 50% of the work that we were scheduled to go and complete at any particular point of time. So that's really something we need to go to think about from that perspective. You go and look here at budgeted at completion. Budgeted at completion is how much a project was budgeted to actually go and complete and cost at a particular point of time. Estimated at completion is how much a project is estimated to go and cost me at completion. So estimated at completion is basically the difference between budgeted and estimated. So estimated at completion is it going to go and cost me more to go and complete the project at any particular point of time? It's really, I compare what was I budgeted to go and actually get the project to cost me versus how much is the estimated at completion, how much is it estimated to cost me at the end of the actual project. So we have to compare actual cost, which is the green, planned value, which is the red, and earned value, which is the maroon. Everything gets compared to earned value, how much I've earned comparing to how much I was planned to earn and how much I'm earned for the cost, how much did I pay for that amount of work that I've actually went and I have earned. Now, there's no doubt that a lot of time we can use project management software. Spreadsheet could help me in resource planning, could help me in estimating costing, could help me in budgeting. But we could also go and use good software, like good systems. We can use Microsoft Project, what helped me to go and really make a tracking of my costing versus, you know, how much it's actually things are costing. Help me to go and get reports, help me to go and get graphs. It's very good from that perspective. Many project managers use tools to manage cost information because they do not know that they can use project management software, or they do not track costing based on a work breakdown structure. That's why I've said it earlier, a work breakdown structure is a very, very important task. That's why I went in one of my lectorials to try to discuss work breakdown structure and ensuring you guys could go and build it. It's very important to create a very detailed work breakdown structure, because that work breakdown structure helps you to go and start creating the basis of estimating how much a particular project is going to actually cost me, and to be able to go and start tracking whether things are basically working according to plan, or whether we are delivering things late and we're not delivering them according to the plan at any particular point of time. Any questions, guys?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? No worries. We have a task that I would like you to go and work on now. I've made sure it is not a very structured task. I made sure I gave you some information, but I'm not going to tell you how to solve that problem. I need you to go and solve that problem. I want you to go and think that you have to go and deliver a website. The website will take you 5 days for you to go and actually get it completed. During those 5 days, you will need to go and use a project manager, a business analyst, a website developer, and a tester. Okay? So what I want you to go and bear in mind, I've actually amended that. You are required to develop a website over a duration of 28 days. During this time, you will need the following resources: a project manager, a business analyst, a website developer, and a tester. This, I need 28 days for the project manager, 3 days for the business analyst, 20 days for the website developer, and 5 days for the tester. I want to give you the next, I'm going to give you the next 5 minutes or so. I want you to go and research and try to come up with a budget for you to go and deliver this website for me, by considering the resources we are going to be needing to get the job done. So please spend the time now. I want you to go and look at what is required. I want you to go and look at how many resources we need. I need you to go and tell me what is the budget we are going to be having for that project. Is the question clear? Is the question clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
All right, so please start working on this task. I am going to give you 5 minutes. All right, guys, so your time is up. I would like to go and now and talk about your answers. So I got one answer that is close to $15,000. Guys, for the 28 days of project management, how much would it cost me? What did you guys estimate for 28
6,000.
days? What's that?
6,000.
6,000. So you said $6,000
Yeah.
for 28 days. Okay, that's fine. Anybody gave any other estimate? Okay, who said 6,000?
It's me, Milan.
Milan, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
If you go and work full time, 8 hours a day, how much you get? How much you get paid an hour?
For a project manager.
No, for you. If
For
you
me.
now going and working, if you're gonna go and get a job
Yeah.
and you're working 8 hours a day, how much you get paid per hour?
Per hour, 25.
25. So you get paid $200 for the day.
Yeah.
Okay. You told me $6,000
Yeah.
for the 28 days of project management. So the project manager is getting $214 every single day.
Oh, that's less.
What do you think?
That's less, very less.
That's realistic?
No.
All right. So let me ask, is there anybody else who got any other cost estimate for project management? Anyone else got a estimate for project management? I guess that's really the point that I would like to go and make. If you want to go and try to get me an estimation of anything to do with your project, it's very, very important to show me that you guys went and did your research to be able to go and come up with an estimation. If I don't see that you guys have thought well about your costing, you won't be able to go and really get a very good mark on your assignment. So how much does a project manager gets paid in Sydney each hour? You need to try to make some research. Okay, so so the average hourly rate for a project manager in Sydney is $56 an hour. So if I multiply that by 8, you know that it's 448 minimum, and that's only on average. Okay, the project manager a lot of time gets paid much more than that. But if you want to go and try to make an estimation, another way you could do, you could say, okay, seek.com.au, I want to have information technology, and I want to have a, let's say, project management. I want to have Sydney, and I want to, let's say, have only, what worked out? Only want to have contract. Okay, let's see. How much is he getting paid per hour on a contract? $800 to $900 every day. So if I'm going to go and say $800 a day for a project manager, divide that by 7.6 hours a day, that's $105 an hour. You see how different that is from the normal rates that was mentioned earlier? So it's very, very important you really look at what sort of costing are available. It's very important you go and show me that you went and thought about all of these costing that people get at any point of time before you come and actually give me any just estimation of the costing. So that's something very, very important for you to go and really bear in mind. Another thing I want you to go and bear in mind really relates to what I've shared with you last week. And I'm not sure, did any of you guys where's that? Okay. Did any of you guys see this video here? Anybody seen that? Anybody?
No, not me. I missed it, but I'll take a look today now.
Well, this is assessment one sample information. I've went into details to showing you everything to do with your assignment, to show you the structure, to show you what you put. Okay, people were asking information about what do we do for the assignment. Well, there's that big video I've loaded for you guys, 20 minutes video or so, that basically talk to you about all of those details about what needs to be done for the assignment. So if you're not sure what you need to do for your assignment, my advice to you is go here on this website, have a look here, have a look at the link. It tells you every single thing I want you to go and do. It gives you some sample information, and it basically builds up all the information from there. So if you haven't seen it, it's under the unit outline. After that, there's assessment, and under assessment, it's basically after the Turnitin link, you'll be able to go and see that information. I want to remind you that your assignment is due very shortly, so we better basically get back to speed And I hope I explained to you today that if you don't create for me a budget that is basically legitimate, appropriate, show me you've done your research, you won't get a very good mark for that estimation. So it's very important you go and think in details about the costing that you need to go and talk about at any point of time. Any questions, my dear students? Okay, if there's any question, you can always email me and message me. Your task for this week is read chapter 7, submit assessment 1, which is due in week 7. So please make sure you kind of continue working on that. It's just due very, very soon. As per the SI-SEC policy, each late submission day will attract a 10% penalty. A delay of more than 5 days will result in a 0 mark. I don't make the rules. I haven't chosen them. It's what SI-SEC expect us to go and apply. So please make sure you know that many people last semester got a 0 on their assignment because they did submit over 5 days late. Go over the Moodle videos that are loaded, guys, and ask me if there's any questions at all. I just want to say thank you very kindly for all your effort, all your hard work. I really appreciate them. Keep working hard, get your assignment done on time, and let's go and continue doing a very good job, which is going to help you to go and get a very good future. I really appreciate you guys, and I thank you for all your effort.